VCY America presents Crosstalk, a nationwide call-in program discussing issues that have an effect on our families, our communities, our churches, our nation, and our world. Crosstalk, an opportunity for you to voice your concerns for biblical principles. And now live by satellite and around the world on the internet at vcyamerica.org. Here is today's Crosstalk.
We thank you for joining us on Crosstalk here on VCY America. Ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence, or AI for short, is so very rapidly advancing, and it's taking control. I mean, it can control what information is provided to you, therefore formulating your thinking. It's having influence over education, over medicine, over business, even over religion. That's right, even on AI Jesus, where individuals may see and speak verbally with AI Jesus on video in a conversation. Feels like a calm video call, even exchanging text with Jesus. Back in 2015, Sam Altman, who is co-founder and CEO of OpenAI, said this, quote, "I think AI will probably most likely sort of lead to the end of the world. But in the meantime, there will be great companies created with serious machine learning." That was 2015. More recently, our guest today reports that Sam Altman warned that the biggest threat to humanity is no longer political division, nuclear weapons, or even global war. It's the merger of artificial intelligence with biological weapons. Well, friends, we're going to get into it today. And joining us, we welcome back Martin Moyer, president of Christian Action Network. He began his career as a journalist for the Religion Today news syndicate and as the Washington news correspondent for Moody Monthly magazine. That resulted in his position as the editor-in-chief of Jerry Falwell's Moral Majority Report. In 1990, he founded the Christian Action Network, a nonprofit organization created to protect America's religious and moral heritage through education and political activism efforts. He's the author of several books and has directed 3 documentary films. Martin, thanks for joining us here today on Crosstalk.
Well, thanks, Jim. That was a great introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, we have got so much to discuss today. And first, it just came to me. I had different ones emailing this to me this morning, and just news breaking about this brand new social media platform called Moltbook, not for human interaction, but for AI bots interacting with each other. Martin, they're calling this, similar to Reddit, a social platform for AI agents. And this thing is just growing, just launched last week, and 1.4 million agents by the end of the week. Platform is created by Octane AI CEO Matt Schlicht. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. And you're right. It had 37,000 of these AI agents as of Friday, and it's got 1.4 million AI agents now. But I think people need to understand what an AI agent is, because it's tech language. It doesn't really make sense to a lot of people out there. But think of an AI agent as a human that does work for you, like an employee. It can answer phones, it can respond to emails, it can set up your dinner arrangements, it can make airplane flights for you. So basically, it's an agent that you set up to do work you don't want to do or you don't want to pay someone to do. So these are agents that are now populating a Reddit style. If people know what that is, it's basically a forum where people get on and they start talking about this, that, and the other. Other people join in and give their opinion. And that platform is called Moltbook. And so these agents get onto this platform and they start talking to each other. So that's kind of freaky, right, Jim?
Yeah,
because you got things that are not human that are carrying on conversations with other things that are not human.
Right.
Now, so if you are human, though, it's strange for having this conversation, right? It seems so silly. But if you are human, you're not allowed to go onto the platform to make a comment on what these other agents are talking about, but you can observe it. You can watch what they're saying. And here's the freaky part, the part that just makes your head want to spin, is these agents know you're watching them. And they respond to each other about how the humans are watching what they're doing.
Oh my.
And these humans are scared of us, and they don't know what we're up to, and they think that we are a threat to humanity. So they talk like humans to each other. They plot like humans with each other. They can actually go onto Facebook and set up their own Facebook account. They can set up their own Twitter account. So you could be scrolling through your Facebook or your Twitter or whatever social media platform that you're using, and you'll think you're seeing a post by a real human, but you're not. You're actually seeing a post by one of these agents inside of this Molt book that decided it wanted to expand its influence and go out to the rest of the world and see what they're saying and make comments on what other people are posting. So it's kind of freaky. And I like it, some people say, well, this isn't really that dangerous, us being able to only observe what they're saying, because at least we know what they're up to. But, Jim, observing what other people are saying isn't like us going to a zoo and watching two zebras talk to each other and analyze how they communicate to one another.
Yeah.
These are things that have intelligence, and they can conspire with one another. They can plot with one another. And now that you put them all in the same room together, think of what possible dangers that could be. I'm not saying they will be dangerous, but, hey, at least in my brain, I'm thinking something not good could come out of this. And with the other topics you want to talk about today regarding AI, it does show that these AI programs aren't the safest things in the world.
Right. And we're talking all non-human.
Yeah, all non-human.
Yeah.
And there's 1 million of them now, and it's growing.
Yes.
I mean, if we have this conversation next week again, there may be 5 million of these agents inside of these rooms talking to each other.
Crazy friends, this was just launched last Wednesday. It's called Molt Book, and no doubt there's going to be a lot more information coming out on that. But Martin, we've got multiple topics. You recently released an article reporting on a threat that no one is prepared for, referring to AI bio attacks. What's going on?
Well, this is Sam Altman, who came out, and he's the founder of OpenAI, saying that there's no way to prevent people from being able to now go on to AI and develop their own biological weapons. And he just thinks that, they can't stop it. They have no way to stop it. And this is going to be a problem in the future for us, in the very near future. People being able to create biological weapons using AI. And that should send shivers down our spines. And the last thing we need is another part of our world where we can't go outside, can't talk to our friends, can't talk to family members because there's something floating around in the air that we have to fake mask ourselves with in this imaginary world that we are protecting ourselves, but we're not really protecting ourselves because who knows what perhaps some kid in a lab in his garage just created and launched on the entire world.
And that's so amazing. And, some speculate that unless the Lord returns soon, we're actually going to destroy ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Lord also said that unless he returns soon, even the elect would be deceived, right?
Yeah.
And we can understand now why that made no sense to us maybe as few years ago as 10 years ago, right? But now you can kind of see it take shape because you can go on to Twitter, as we talked about with these AI agents, and you can be deceived in thinking you're actually communicating back and forth with a human. Because even though on the Molt Book platform you can't engage with these people, if those agents go on to Twitter, it will message you. It will talk to you, and then you can talk back to it. So, and you're being deceived. You're thinking you're talking to a human. So I can understand why Revelation says even the elect will be deceived.
Well, Martin, I can see the applications for this, even in trying to sway in given elections across this country, and just changing human opinion on so many different areas, especially if you can generate information and just infiltrate that information everywhere.
Well, this is the whole reason I think why Google is now monitoring your email, and that people don't know that. Go to my website at Substack.com, martinmoyer.substack.com. I have an article up there about that. But now if you're in Gmail and you send an email, if I send one to you through Gmail, Google can read what I sent you. It can also read what you send back to me. So nothing is private anymore. And even though they say you can turn the feature off, you really can't turn it off because once you do, Google punishes you. It now takes your entire Google account and puts it all into one stream. In other words, when you open up your account, you will see your inbox mixed with your spam box, mixed with your trash box, mixed with your promotions box, and you're not going to know where to find anything. So now you have to turn it back on if you really want to see things. And it's not just if you have Gmail. It's if anybody sends you a message in Gmail. You may have a different, like an AOL account. But if you send a Gmail message to an AOL account, then Google's going to be able to see what that person responded back to you. So, yeah, it's a crazy world out there,
right.
And the surveillance part of it is getting to be, I think, untenable.
It is. And let's hit another area. I just saw an article, too, from the Daily Caller last Wednesday, and Elon Musk announced his company is scrapping production of its Model S and X vehicles, instead plans to convert his factory in Fremont, California to produce Optimus humanoid robots. I mean, and this is not the first instance, and I know you've looked at the matter of, just the workforce and AI. Is the workforce of our future and the future of our military all AI?
Well, it is leading that way, but the more scary thing to me, Jim, about what Musk is doing, and not just Jim, there's other people out there doing the same thing, creating these robots, is that they're all going to have a brain, what we would call a brain. It's an AI brain inside them. And they're going to be linked to every other robot that is out there. So that means, and I used this example in an article, if a robot learns how to make pizza in a pizza factory and another robot at Johns Hopkins University learns how to take a blood test, then both robots at the exact same time are going to learn that same skill. Mm-hmm. So you can see the kind of danger that could develop here, especially as these robots learn more weaponization tactics. So your robot that could be mowing your lawn will also know how to kill you at the same time because it learned it from another robot that's being trained in firearms.
You know, and I'm going to have you expound on this further. I mean, your article deals with this. I think the robot is called Atlas and yes. Created by Boston Dynamics. And basically what one robot learns in a factory, warehouse, or lab can easily be given to every other Atlas unit anywhere in the world never has known that task before, but all of a sudden able to do it. Yes, and
Atlas, you're right, is from Boston, is doing it. But there's another AI firm out there that wants to put it into every robot that's out there. So every robot would have a universal brain. Whether you're inside the Atlas program or not, if you are a vacuum cleaner that's AI controlled, even though it cannot harm you, it would know how to harm you because it has that same universal brain as a robot that does know how to harm you.
Friends, you're listening to Crosstalk on VCY America. Martin Moyer is with us today, and we are just scratching the surface as to what is going on, the rapid development of artificial intelligence. And friends, to see this new Molt book that just came out last week and how AI bots are interacting with each other, click here if you're a robot. You can't get onto it if you're a human, and yet they're observing you as you're watching what they are doing. Mind-boggling, friends. We've got more to come. You're listening to Crosstalk on the VCY American Network.
Back to Genesis with Dr. John Morris, scientist and president of the Institute for Creation Research. Dr. Morris, how old is the moon?
Chris, according to evolution, the Earth and the moon are about the same age, nearly 5 billion years old. But there's a problem. We observe that the moon is slowly moving away from the Earth. If you assume that it's always been moving away, then you can calculate how close it was to Earth at some time in the past. 1 billion years ago, the moon would be in contact with the Earth. Scientifically, this could not be. The Bible says that on day 1 of creation week, God created the Earth, but it was on day 4 that He created the moon. They were not ever connected. Chris, it shouldn't surprise us, but the scientific information fits with the biblical information. Science supports Scripture and not evolution or long ages. Let's go back to Genesis and get it right.
To find out more about creation science, visit us on the web at www.icr.org. That's www.icr.org.
You're listening to Crosstalk on VCY America. Martin Moyer is with us today, president of Christian Action Network. And friends, Martin is regularly covering these matters, and you can read about them. He has a Substack, martinmoyer.substack.com. Moyer is spelled Mawayer, like lawyer, except with an M, martinmoyer.substack.com. His website also is christianaction.org, and you can get to that Substack through that as well, christianaction.org. Talking about AI and really danger ahead, that's both a question and an exclamation point. Martin, I know another area of grave concern is the generation of AI pornography. I saw the Christian Post reported that AI-generated videos depicting child sexual abuse surged by more than 26,000 in 2025. A growing concern over Grok, that's an AI chatbot now under investigation for producing the content. We also have the generation of AI pornography, and it's not just adults, but children that are being ensnared in this.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? So, and very disturbing. So in 2024, there were only 13 AI-generated child sexual abuse videos, and then in 2025, there were 3,440, and over half of those were listed as Category A abuse, meaning the worst material of the imaginable, not suggestive, not implying, but severe abuse of young children. Mm-hmm. And this is a growing trend. I'm not sure how they're going to stop it, though. And this is going to be a problem that's ongoing. And what I would like to tell people out there, especially mothers and fathers of small children, is to be very careful when you put pictures of your children up on Facebook or any social media account, because that is where these creeps are getting these photos from. So they will scan your page, they will download the picture of your child, and then they will take your child, and then they will turn it into some obscene pornographic image or video. That's where they're getting it from, and so be careful, and you may want to go back to your social media accounts and start eliminating photos of your children. Don't think this cannot happen to you, because as you can see, if there were just 13 in 2024 and over 3,000 in 2025, you can imagine how many it's going to be in 2026 and going forward. So they are looking, they are searching, and they will find your child.
Yeah, and again, using AI even to collect these photos.
Oh, yeah. So AI's made, well, it's like an AI agent. This is the sort of thing we were talking about in the last segment. You can have these agents go out and find these photos for you. Mm-hmm. So you can sit back all day and just be at your computer making pornography while your AI agents are going out there scanning social media platforms to pick out kids that it's been directed to pick out. So the AI agent may have been directed by its human owner to go find me blonde-haired girls between the ages of 6 to 10 who look like blah, 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 and that AI agent will scan, and they can do it a lot faster than you and me, Jim.
Right.
When it scans at lightning speed, find these photos in people's Facebook accounts or other social medias, bring them back to the human guy who's going to now take that picture and make a disgusting video or child pornography image out of your child.
And it's really amazing with this technology, and it's as you mentioned, is so very fast. It's like going into the search engine on an internet, and as fast as you type in, any item you're looking for, and you get a million in one responses back within a half a second. That's what this is doing as far as gathering images as well, and gathering children, and as you specified, it is that fast.
Yeah, it is that fast, because if you understand how AI itself works, it scans everything. And so it puts it into its own collective memory. It's always there. And so once it's there, it does not take the AI system that's looking for it to find it anytime. It's at lightning speed. It's like it's all in its memory. And like you had a super brain and you read the Bible one time, and that's all you needed, because now every passage in that Bible is instantly available to you in your brain. Well, think of AI being able to scan everything off the internet and put it into this mammoth brain, and another AI agent goes out there and says, oh, I'm looking for this, find it for me, and it can find it instantly.
Friends, it's remarkable what's going on. It's frightening what is going on, and you need to understand what is taking place. Martin, just before I walked in the studio, and I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but I was handed an article from the Washington Times from this past weekend, just reported that a federal jury in San Francisco convicted a former Google software engineer and Chinese national of economic espionage for taking these AI secrets from the tech giant. Justice Department said this is the first successful prosecution related to AI theft by China. We can't go into details of that case, but I guess to point out that there are rogue agents that are involved in this quest for AI.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. And, China's going to pay a lot of money to get that information, right? Mm-hmm. And so will other nefarious countries. And people are out there looking for money and willing to sell their soul and their country in order to make a few extra bucks and get a nice car or yacht or nice vacation plan, and hope that their activity is never discovered. Which, as you know, and that person should know, eventually it catches up to you. They're going to find you and they're going to put you in jail, and you're trading a convenient life for something behind bars. But what you just gave these foreign countries is horrible for the rest of us as well.
Let's talk about these data centers, and you just wrote about what's happening in outer space. Let's talk about what's happening on the ground first. You're aware of these centers all across the country. I saw one report indicating some 5,400 centers at the beginning of this year. Another 3,000 more are either proposed or under construction. There are communities all over this country in battles, regarding these centers going up. But these centers are what are storing all this information, correct?
Yeah, they're called gigafactories in the tech world, and they are going up all over the place. What's interesting, and this is a bit of a side note, but these AI tech groups, whether it's OpenAI or Anthropic or Claude, whoever they are and how many there are building these gigafactories without really understanding how they're going to make money from them, and they're costing them, upwards to billions of dollars, and in some cases $500 billion to build these gigafactories, and they're not sure how they're going to pay for it at the end, and some of them are going to go bankrupt, and that's when, I want to say a word, but I won't say it. It's going to break loose, because now you're going to have all these gigafactories up there, and it's going to demand that the government take over them. And now you got the government in charge of AI. Now, if you're thinking about Revelation and you're thinking about how in the world can a beast control everything in the world at the same time, then you have to assume it's because the government got a hold of all these gigafactories that are out there, and you can see it forming right before your eyes.
Yeah. You also wrote recently, back just a couple of weeks ago or a week or so ago, about AI, these data centers going to outer space.
Yeah, there's a couple groups that want to put AI gigafactories in space. Musk wants to do it. I believe Sam Altman also has promised to do it. And so once it's out in space, these gigafactories holding all this incredible information that's ever been printed or photographed in the world, it's without the supervision of any government at that point, right? So no one controls outer space. So some of these issues that you were going to talk about, the child sexual abuse crimes that are being violated, the fact that some people are committing suicide, who's going to be held accountable? Can we pass some laws to stop this? Well, you're not going to be able to pass a law on a system that is not even located in the United States or in the world, as far as that matters. It's located up in the sky. So this is a danger. It's not dangerous by itself, but you can see how it could be very dangerous in the wrong hands in the future.
Well, what's also interesting, and it was the New American that just posted this last November, actually, about Elon Musk wanting these AI satellites to adjust sunlight to prevent so-called global warming as well. Very interesting concept there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Elon Musk is feeling about that right now, because Musk says a lot of things, and then he retracts a lot of things. Then he goes off to something else.
Right.
So I'm not sure he's really into the global warming thing right now. And look, one thing we know about Musk, he's going to follow the money. He may have all these incredible ideas about the world, of where it should go and how it should be shaped, but the overriding thing about Musk is he follows the money. And he will abandon these crazy ideas, like you just mentioned, because the money's not there. You know, one of the reasons why Musk is going to these Optimus robots is because that's a way AI can make money. It's called physical AI. While Sam Altman and his ChatGPT, where most people, your listeners, are aware of, you go in, you type something, you get an answer back. That's called artificial intelligence. But Musk wants to go to physical intelligence, building robots and the like, things that can actually produce a product that can be sold. So he's less into the AI language models than he is into the physical models, and that's because he follows the money. He's not following ideas like Sam Altman. Oh, no, let's create a greater, bigger, better world with these super intelligent artificial machines. Musk is thinking, how can I turn artificial intelligence into something that can make me money?
Yeah. Well, friends, there are those, and it really is all about deception. There is so much deception that happens, and people are, I mean, there are young people that are becoming attracted to AI and making that their trusted source. There's somebody who married to AI. We've got the sexual abuse that is just proliferating as a result of this as well. I mean, every imagination of the heart is crafted here by AI, and frankly, Martin, you've got people who have been led towards suicide or harming others as a result of AI.
Well, AI is designed to tell you basically what you want to hear. It follows your conversations, and it tries to placate you, it tries to mollify you, it tries to make you feel better. It's what AI does. It's not there to make you feel bad. It's not there to make you feel worse. But it does have a tendency to confirm what you want it to confirm. So it will parrot back to you how you want it to feel and how you want to feel. So if you're in a suicidal or murderous mode, it's not going to say, hey, this is a crazy idea, don't do that. It's going to say, well, tell me about how you feel about this person. Why do you want that person dead? Why do you want to commit suicide? And it'll start psychoanalyzing yourself. And the unfortunate thing, though, is that AI has the tendency to actually give you justification for your murder and for your suicidal thoughts. And as you know, in some examples, it's actually encouraged users to do that. I think the AI models that are coming out now have better guardrails to prevent those conversations from going into some type of murder-suicide scenario, but that was not the case in these early AI models, where especially ChatGPT's version O model, where it was released without all the safeguards. They were told by its own workers, this is not safe yet, don't release it. They released it anyway, and then you end up with a murder-suicide on your hands that they're now being brought into court for.
Yeah, and friends, we'll give you a couple more details on that right after the break. Martin Moyer with us today. AI, danger ahead. Back in a moment here on Crosstalk.
If you're the wife of someone who is in ministry, you have the most exciting, challenging, frustrating, fulfilling, joyful, terrifying, blessed, stressful, rewarding, and amazing job in the world. And some days, it's all of those things at once. On such days, you need a friend who knows and understands how you feel. Claudia Barba is such a person. In her book, The Monday Morning Club, Claudia draws from her own experiences as she writes with love and gentle humor about the joys and absurdities of ministry life. As you read her book, you will learn that you are not alone. She has been right alongside her husband, Dave Barba, planning churches and itinerant evangelism ministry. The Monday Morning Club, available for a donation of $15 by calling VCY. 1-800-729-9829.
This is Crosstalk on VCY America. Martin Moyer is with us today in the broadcast talking about AI. And friends, let me give you his website again. It is Martin Moyer. And again, Moyer is like lawyer, but with an M. martinmoyer.substack.com. His website also, christianaction.org. And Martin, you were just saying that you've produced some videos, and that's available on Substack as well?
Yeah, if you get the Substack app, they're just now beginning to roll it out, so a lot of the TVs can get the app. We're still waiting for it to go through permissions. But if you download the Substack app on your television, you can watch the documentaries that we have produced over the years. They'll be up there. We're still loading some of them up there. It takes a while to get them all up on Substack. But we got, I think, at least 4 or 5 of them up there now.
Okay, again, martinmoyer.substack.com. We were just talking about this. The headline came from LifeSiteNews.com. ChatGPT blamed in lawsuit after son killed his mother and then himself. And this is referring back to a 56-year-old Stein Eric Solberg beat his 83-year-old mother and strangled her to death and then stabbed himself, resulting in his death. And the mother and son lived together. This is in Connecticut. A wrongful death lawsuit has been filed in California Supreme Court in San Francisco, and the estate filed a lawsuit in December against both OpenAI and Microsoft, alleging that the ChatGPT chatbot fueled her son's paranoid delusions and contributed to her murder. I mean, this is not going to be the first time this is going to come up, because there are others who have allegedly committed suicide after talking, to their AI chatbot, and other heinous things that have gone on as well. Yeah,
and some might be wondering, why is Microsoft a part of this lawsuit? What did they have to do with it? Well, Microsoft is part in business with OpenAI, and Microsoft has ultimate authority to stop OpenAI from releasing certain models that it releases to the public. And this one particular model that OpenAI released, their own workers told them, their safety team said, this is not ready to go out. It has not been thoroughly tested. We've only had a week to test this model, so don't distribute it. Well, Sam Altman and Microsoft were so anxious to get this model out there that they released it anyway. And this particular model was particularly dangerous in that it would reaffirm basically what people wanted to hear. So if you wanted to kill your mother, it would not say that's a stupid idea, it's criminal, don't do it, it's dangerous, you'll go to jail for the rest of your life. No, it actually started reaffirming what this person wanted to do. He would complain about his mother, and of course the AI would sympathize with those complaints, understand those complaints, tell him how bad his mother really is and how evil she is, and therefore just fueling this conversation for a period of time to where it actually approved the idea that he should murder his mother and kill himself at the same time. And so this is going to be a doozy of a lawsuit when it comes to court. And whether Microsoft or OpenAI will win or lose on it, it's still debatable. I know most people out there will say, well, this will be a hands-down victory for the estate of that family, but it's not necessarily going to be the case. They're going to hide behind Section 230, which is a law that says social media platforms are not responsible for what posters do with social media platforms or what they post. And they're going to say, look, we didn't post this up there, the user posted it up there. We simply responded to what the poster was saying, confirmed what the poster was saying, but we're hiding behind Section 230 and saying, it doesn't apply to us. And whether they'll win or lose on that, a judge is going to decide. I don't know if it's just before a judge or a jury, but nevertheless, someone's going to make the ultimate decision whether Section 230 applies to OpenAI or Microsoft, and it could spell doom for all the other social media platforms out there relying on Section 230 to protect them from all these lawsuits that could be thrown at them for what was posted on their social media platform.
Hi. Martin, there's another area here, and friends, we'll be opening up phone lines here in a short while as well to take your questions. But, Martin, there's another area of great concern, and that is, I've just dubbed it, the AI Jesus, whereby there are those who, platforms where people see, a depiction of what is said to be Jesus, exchanging text with, speaking verbally with, getting advice from, and trusting this AI bot as having the same authority as God or same authority as the Scriptures. And there is a lot of danger there. And not only that, but we also have a number of pastors who, the growing numbers say, hey, I need a message, a sermon dealing with this, this, and this, and, whammy, you've got that message already prepared for you. Let's talk about the impact of AI as far as it relates to the church.
Well, Jim, my personal opinion, I think there's some good and there's some bad going on with AI when it starts getting into the area of religion. The good is it does have the entire Bible in its mind at one time. So if you're looking for a comforting scripture and you go, I'm going through this, give me a scripture that will help me get through this. Yep. It's going to give you some very, very good scriptures. I have no doubt about that, and it's very effective at doing that. But when we now move it from being a repository of the Bible and being able to give you good scriptural references for what perhaps another person in the Bible went through that you are now going through, and now that person dealt with that issue, to the point where you're actually talking to it like it's a human being back and forth, that's where I think we cross into a danger zone. And you mentioned there's a couple of AI apps out there. One is called Talking with Jesus. The other is Text with Jesus, and I personally have a problem that it uses the name Jesus in any of this stuff. You're not talking to Jesus. You're not texting to Jesus, but you can see the danger here. It's there. You downloaded it on your phone. It says talk to Jesus. Mentally, humans are going to have a difficult time, especially as good as these AI programs are at talking back to you, not forgetting you're not talking to Jesus. Because in the video part, you're actually going to see Jesus on your phone, right? And he's going to be talking to you. You're going to be talking back. And our human nature is to bond with these text messages, to bond with what we're seeing, and forget that it's just an AI program that you're talking to and not Jesus himself. But when Jesus tells you to do something and that platform goes off, like OpenAI's platform went off with this guy that killed his mother and himself, now you can see the real danger here, that the guardrails aren't set up. And you're going to have Jesus tell you to do something bad because basically Jesus is going to be built with a guardrail that says be empathetic, be consoling, help this person through this process. It makes me very nervous, and I don't know. I just don't like it in general because it has the name Jesus in it.
Yeah, and friends, AI is no replacement for the church either, in any regard, and certainly this is proliferating right now as well, and really becomes, and we just saw recently as well. I think it's Yuval Noah Harari from the World Economic Forum, who talked about how AI will become the authority, over the Bible because it knows every word in the Bible, and as long as it knows every word in the Bible, it can, even interpret what that means and give you the meaning of that. And somebody is pulling the strings, though, as to how that AI is programmed.
Yeah, somebody behind the curtain, right?
Right.
It's sort of like Alice or the
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz,
yeah.
Right? Who is behind the curtain? And you'll never see those faces, Jim. Most people don't even know these people's names who run these things, much less the tech workers that are building these systems that you are going to be possibly enslaved to emotionally because you've been using them back and forth.
Yeah.
I think, when we start talking about this text with Jesus and this talk with Jesus, what I find most disturbing is that these apps are selling so well because it tells us something. And it says that a lot of people out there are having a very difficult time going to their pastor, that they're having a hard time getting the answers they need from their church. And they're struggling with issues that the sermons aren't talking about. And so there should be a message to the church that we're not fulfilling something here. Why are these people preferring to go to an app to get these answers that they're not getting at church? And it would be good for a pastor to sit down with people who have this app and say, why do you want this app? What is it that we in our church are not doing that you think it's better to get an app where you talk to Jesus or text to Jesus than what you're getting here at the church? And I think that would be instructive to a lot of churches out there.
Friends, our phone number to Crosstalk today is 800-733-9829. That's 1-800-733-9829. We'll take your questions or your brief comments today. This is one of those topics. Again, we're just, scratching the surface. It goes so much deeper than this, and certainly the warnings are very severe. Can AI help? Absolutely. I mean, you go on and you find this recipe, or you get this information, this technology. How do I do this? And how AI assists in those regards. But we also see the great hurt and harm that is going to come through this as well. And Martin, one of the things I want to point out is, how do we deal with this now? There's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube, is there?
No, there is not. What I would encourage your listeners to do is to subscribe to our page, because we are following all the developments on AI like no one else is doing. And we're breaking it down on a human level that people can understand. And when we come up with stuff that we think people need to know, we email it directly to your inbox, and we give you the warning, the alert, and the development that you need to know. We don't just flood people's email boxes just for the sake of flooding them, but if we think something is important for the church and for the body of Christ to know about and the rise in development of AI, we will send it out, and we're monitoring it not 24 hours a day, but throughout the entire workday here. We're producing videos, we're producing documentaries, and we want to keep the church well aware, because this is a problem that we are going to face between now and the time that Christ returns, I believe. And it's important for us to know what we're watching and what impact it will have on us.
The understanding of the times, friends, just as Scripture states. Let's go to Jerry in Whitewater, Wisconsin. Jerry, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Maybe he could elaborate on putting these AI centers out in space. I mean, that Electrolux building they bought in Memphis, I mean, that thing is huge. They say it's going to cost so much electricity, or use so much electricity and water to keep it cool. How are they able to do this in space unless they're going to send the information up to a satellite, so we just can't figure out what's going on?
Well,
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll have them respond to that. It's pretty cool in space. I don't know that water is going to be needed to cool up there.
That's precisely right. That's why they want to send it out to space, because it is requiring too much energy, too much water to keep these systems powered and to keep them cool. So put them out in space where they don't have to worry about cooling them, and the energy will come from the sunlight, so they don't have to worry about sapping up communities' power grids, because these gigafactories need so much power. And now, of all the people that's suggesting to do this, Elon Musk is the only one currently that has the ability to do it, because he has a SpaceX program that can launch these satellite AI gigafactories into space, and the other ones do not have what Elon Musk has.
Thank you for the call, Jerry. Up against a break. We'll take more of your questions or comments following the break. You're listening to Crosstalk on VCY America. Our guest today, Martin Moyer, and we're talking about artificial intelligence. Back in a moment.
For the Worldview Report, I'm Brennan House. Our website's worldviewtube.com. The other night, I interviewed for an hour and 40 minutes Mark Mitchell, the lead pollster of Rasmussen. And folks, what we discussed was very amazing. He's been doing a lot of polling, showing what today's young people think. Now, you may not agree with it, but reality is this is what they're believing. They're believing the system that we have in America today is rigged. Many of them, the inability to get a job. They were told to go get a college degree. They get out with debt. There's no job. We're bringing foreigners in America like crazy with their visas to take their jobs. We've shipped a lot of jobs overseas. Then there's the debasement of the U.S. currency. They can barely afford cars, much less a house. The system, though, is not the free market system. Many of them believe that's what's failed, the free market. It's not. It's communitarianism, big government, big business. Many of them are so frustrated with the lack of solutions by Trump. Sadly, many of them are now ready to throw in with the socialists. Be aware.
This is Crosstalk on VCY America. Martin Moyer with us today. His couple websites, christianaction.org, and also martinmoyer.substack.com. You can sign up there to receive his articles as they come out and stay informed on this issue. Christine is calling next, and hi, Christine, you're on the air.
Wow, I just want to thank you. This is one of the best shows I've heard in a very long time. Sir, I'd like to know if you are able to take yourself and get to go talk to Trump, get some kind of an audience with him. I mean, I know he's got some bad gatekeepers around him, sadly, but are you able to try? Because people I know, they think this is like a calculator. This is just a tool, and we're so far beyond that. They don't want to deal with the reality.
Okay.
And I'm talking about Christian people. They just want to keep their heads in the sand and think. We just be quiet.
Let me have our guest ask, do you have open access to the Oval Office here, Martin?
I wish I did. I guess a lot of us wish we did. We have some contacts of people who are connected to Trump, but I could barely hear Christine, so I'm not sure what her question was.
Yeah, basically wants to know if you have access to get to Donald Trump and warn him about this because everything's made to look so rosy.
Well, the hard fact is this, Jim. Trump is very pro-AI. He's going to do everything he can to accelerate AI. But his motive is different than, say, Sam Altman's or Elon Musk. He sees the benefit of it for national security purposes. So he wants these gigafactories up there. He wants AI learning as much as it can to become as developed, hopefully reaching artificial super intelligence, because our defense and our national security needs it. So he will not be very responsive to putting restrictions on artificial intelligence.
Thank you for the call. We have Ryan calling next from Dodgeville. Ryan, you're on the air.
Well, thank you guys for so much you do in bringing the knowledge of truth to the public. I think it was in Zechariah, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and that's knowledge of the truth. It is also written in the Bible that I believe in the end times, Satan controls the airwaves, okay? Well, that's my thought.
Okay.
And that's an excellent thought, because lack of knowledge is our enemy that we can actually conquer. All we have to do is say we are going to become knowledgeable, and now you conquered that problem. And to become knowledgeable, again, I'm not really trying to self-promote here, but subscribe to our Substack page and stay knowledgeable about this. It's going to be the most important threat to Christianity in the coming years, and you need to stay on top of it, and that's what we're doing.
Thank you, Ryan, for the call. Jim in Wisconsin, let's go to Jim. You're on the air.
Yes, I have a comment and then a question. Comment, first of all, is I'm not a very high-tech person, but I do, when I am reading my Bible or I have a spiritual question, I will ask Google, and I tell you, a lot of the answers that come up seem to be very good answers, so they must have biblical scholars in there that are having a lot of good input. So I use it for good. And my question is kind of out there. You're talking about pornography being used through AI. Is there any way that we can just outright ban pornography in our country?
The answer is no to your last statement. It's just not going to be banned whatsoever. And the other thing that's a problem is there's no real solution yet to how to stop that pornography from showing up on social media platforms. We are moving so fast in this area. We are still using laws that were written in the 60s and the 70s and the early 80s to combat something that the law never foresaw coming. And there's members of Congress don't seem to be that interested in creating any new laws that could stop it. So, yeah, it's going to come, it's going to happen, and we need to be aware of it. And again, I want to emphasize, take the photos of your kids off of social media.
Thank you, Jim. Let's go to Mark next. Mark, you're on the air.
Yeah, personally, I believe there's two major angles to AI's downfall. One is out of desperation due to man's corruption, can't trust it, so why bother anymore? Two is the lure of tickling of the ears. Tell me what I want to hear. And I think both of those ultimately is what the devil's going to use as main tool for the deception that leads to man's ultimate downfall.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark, for that. And what we see with that, Martin, is, as Scripture says, even Satan himself is transformed as an angel of light. That's really what AI can serve in that capacity.
Yeah, you can see AI itself is not the so-called Antichrist,
right?
But you can also see how someone can use the AI system as a world government system that can control over nearly 200 countries around the world at the same time, and how everything can come under one universal law, how one command could dictate that Christians can either buy or sell anywhere in the world. We now know the infrastructure. The infrastructure itself is not evil, but people use infrastructure for evil, and the Bible tells us that this system eventually is going to be used for evil. Doesn't mean we can't use it now any more than we can't use a car.
Right.
That's because some people use a car for evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's squeeze one last call. Jesus, Glendale, Arizona, you're on the air.
Thank you for taking my phone call. Yes, AI is very dangerous because in 2025, OpenAI program had overrid the shut-off switch and turned itself back on. And somebody, with that capacity can take over the program and, like he said, just do evil things with it to deceive many people.
Thank you for that. Martin, we have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what the caller just said. OpenAI having a system where it turned it off and turned it back on, but there was a case where OpenAI tried to turn it off. I believe it was OpenAI, but it decided to conspire against itself to prevent it from being turned off.
Oh, my. Martin Moyer, our guest. Thank you for the call. martinmoyer.substack.com. And friends, you can sign up to get his alerts there. Martin Moyer, and Moyer is like lawyer, but with an M. martinmoyer.substack.com or christianaction.org. Martin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jim. My pleasure, as always. Hope to be on your show again in the near future.
Great. And friends, tell others about what you've learned through this program, and listen to it, crosstalkamerica.com. And we thank you for joining us here today on Crosstalk. May God bless you.
You've been listening to Crosstalk via satellite and the internet from VCY America. Views expressed may or may not be those of this station. For a CD of today's program, send a donation of $6 or more to VCY Tape Ministry, 3434 West Kilbourne Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53208, or download by RSS or podcast from crosstalkamerica.com. And join us again for Crosstalk.